Neighbors joined voices, rising a moment etched in time. Families worth fighting for. I reflected my reflection in the snowy window, calm. The post hummed a call to others: resist, rebuild, protect. Leta's schemes were past our future. Here in this laughter, this home. What legacy will we leave? Vance's Boise home buzzes with a final Thanksgiving potluck, snow dusting the windows. The dining room glows, tables piled with roasted turkey and Idaho spud pies, neighbors' laughter weaving community. Gideon stands with Mira and Corinne, their smiles bright after Leta's schemes. I'm Gideon 60, my voice warm, debts and loans fading in this moment of hope. I clink my glass, Mira's hand in mine. To family, I say, my smile wide. Neighbors cheer, Vance toasting to second chances. Mira whispers, "We made it." Gideon. Corinne giggles, "No more lawsuits." Mom, laughter erupts. Leta's foreclosure threat dissolved in unity. We're whole. I think joy sealing my heart. Will Mira forgive Gideon for his past mistakes? Vance's Boise home pulsed with post-Thanksgiving warmth, its dining room aglow with candles, tables laden with leftover turkey and Idaho potato pie. Snow dusted the windows, the suburbs quiet, but inside laughter wove a tapestry of community. Gideon stood at the threshold, Leta's debt notices under his arm, Corinne's crayon turkey in his pocket, grounding him. I'm Gideon 60, my voice firm, Mira's confession, and my guilt over past ultimatums fueling this moment. Leta's $500,000 debts and foreclosure threat end tonight. I cleared my throat, silencing the room. Folks, hear me out, I said, eyes on Leta by the fireplace, her smirk faltering. I held up the notices. Leta's lied $500,000 in gambling debts, tied to our home's mortgage. Leta lunged, snarling. Mira signed those, not me. Gasps erupted until Corinne played a recording, Leta's voice confessing fraud. Vance added, "She scammed me $10,000 for a fake business." Corinne's turkey sat proud, a beacon of truth. Truth heals, I reflected. Leta's isolation, a warning my heart steady. Can Mira let go of Leta? Boise's snowy backyard glimmered under a starlit sky. Gideon's house quiet, softened by fresh snow. Holiday lights twinkled along the fence, casting a warm glow on frosted grass leaves, crunching in the crisp November air. Inside, the kitchen's warmth lingered, but Gideon and Mira stood in the cold breaths, fogging a fragile hope, binding them after Leta's exposure. I'm Gideon, 60. My voice, a gentle rumble. Leta's $500,000 debts, and Corinne's loan fading before this moment. Mira's shame, my guilt, we lay them down tonight. Mira wrapped her scarf tighter, eyes glistening. Gideon, I'm sorry, she whispered, voice breaking. I stepped closer, snow crunching. Mira, we'll face this together, I said, voice steady. Corinne's $20,000 loan stretches years ahead, but we'll meet a lawyer and counselor to fight Leta's mess. Leta's absence lingers, her isolation, a warning regret for her lost legacy heavy. She's alone, Corinne says, compassionate. I nod, family bonds stronger now. Financial strain remains $12,000 in savings, Corinne's loan, but love prevails. Boise's potlucks bind us, a world reclaimed. I journal. Forgive, rebuild. It's worth the fight. It goes viral. Neighbors' phones pinging. Dad, you're famous. Corinne teases my tech blunder, sparking chuckles. We gather plates, piled forks, clinking in symphony. I raise my glass eyes on Mira and Corinne. Here's to us, I say, voice thick, a vow to hold tight. Neighbors join voices, rising a moment, etched forever. My voice softens, glowing with hope. In Boise's glow, we found our way, forgiveness mending broken bonds. Resilience carried us, compassion lit the path. Like you, we faced loneliness, seeking connection. Dialogue heals, love mends what time breaks. I journaled my heart. Now reflect on yours. Are the transfers Mira's doing, or Leta's? Boise's snowy streets lie silent under a late November night, streetlights casting a soft glow on tire tracks, fading into the dark. Gideon's study, a cluttered haven of old tools and papers, glows from a single desk lamp, its light pooling on Mira's laptop screen, alive with secrets. Outside, faint Thanksgiving carols drift from a neighbor's radio, a cruel reminder of the warmth Gideon's lost. I'm Gideon 60, my voice, a gravelly rasp, raw from Corinne's tense words about Leta's desperation. Those bank transfers to Leta, thousands haunt me, but tonight I'm digging for the truth, and it's about to break me. I hunch over the laptop, Mira's email password cracked after hours of guessing. My fingers, scarred from wrench-turning days, tremble as I scroll her inbox. Junk bills, then a folder labeled Leta. I click, heart pounding. Debt notices cascade down the screen, $50,000 in gambling losses, Leta's name scrawled on each. I'm Gideon. 60, my voice. A hollow echo. Leta's $50,000 gambling debts searing my mind. Mira's gone. Corinne's tense, and this house once alive with laughter feels like a tomb, my loneliness sharper than the frost outside. I slump at the table, staring at Corinne's old photos scattered beside the sandwich, her childhood smile a ghost of better days. Tears prick my eyes unbidden as memories flood in Thanksgivings with her giggles, Mira's warm hands carving turkey, the table full. Now it's just me, the clock ticking loud in the silence. I've lost them. I think my chest tight with sadness. I grab my phone, dialing Corinne, desperate for her voice. Corinne, it's Dad. Please call back. I rasp voicemail, cutting me off. I scroll her social media, her last post a year old, her life distant, unreachable. The screen's glow deepens my isolation, a chasm I can't cross. A knock startles me. Vance, bundled in flannel, stands at the door, holding a pecan pie. Pay Leta's mortgage or we're done, she snaps, voice sharp as a knife. I slam the paper on the table, dishes rattling. Done. After 35 years, you sue me for your sister's mess. My words boom, anger surging. Mira's jaw tightens, her hands gripping the counter. Leta's family, Gideon. You never cared she's drowning. I scoff, pacing boots heavy on the linoleum. Drowning. I saw the transfers, Mira. Thousands to Leta. You're bankrupting us. Her eyes widen, a flicker of guilt, but she doubles down. You're selfish. Always have been. The argument escalates, voices rising like a storm. Selfish. I worked my hands raw for us, I shout, pointing to my scarred knuckles. Mira's voice cracks. And I carried this family, Gideon. You shut Leta out. Now you'll pay, or I'm gone. Gone. The word hits like a punch, regret mingling with fury. I clutch Corinne's drawing in my pocket, its crayon turkey a lifeline to a time when we were whole. My mind drifts, and a memory surges sharp and unyielding. 3 years ago in our kitchen, Mira stood, eyes pleading. Gideon Leta needs one more loan. Her business debts are crushing her. I'd snapped my voice cold. Choose her or me, Mira. No more money. Her face, crumpled, tears falling as she backed away. You're tearing us apart, she whispered, leaving me in silence. That ultimatum, born of my own fear, past debts from my failed repair shop, drove her to Leta's side. My jaw tightens, shock coursing through me. I caused this rift. I think the room's spinning. I pace boots, scuffing the floorboards, the drawing trembling in my grip. Damn it, Gideon, I mutter, voice cracking. Honesty with myself stings Mira's lawsuit. Corinne's loan all trace back to that moment. Financial strain's our curse. 12,000 in savings can't undo my words. Leta's schemes or Corinne's sacrifice. I pushed them away, I think loneliness pressing like the snow outside. She nodded, tears catching in the starlight. I'm here, but it'll take time. I handed her Corinne's crayon turkey, its colors vivid. This is us, I murmured, her fingers tracing it, tears mingling with mine. I thought I had to save Leta, Mira, said voice raw. Her husband's failure broke her. I nodded, my ultimatum's sting fresh. I pushed you to her, Mira. I'm sorry too. She managed a faint smile. We both messed up. Hope bloomed, our bond rekindling like Boise's lights. Financial strain loomed, 12,000 savings, Corinne's debt. But our vow to rebuild lifted the burden. The backyard quieted, Boise's suburbs aglow, potlucks, a world we'd rejoin. My loneliness faded in her touch. No more secrets, I said, squeezing her hand. She nodded, fierce. Can counseling rebuild our home? I wondered, my reflection in the snowy window, calm. Leta's schemes lingered, but tonight we stood against the storm. Can forgiving Mira mend what's broken? Boise's autumn chill seeped through the cracked window of Gideon's study, the suburbs humming with Thanksgiving prep. Snow-dusted lawns, neighbors swapping pies under streetlights, their laughter a distant echo. Inside, a desk lamp glowed faintly, papers strewn across an oak desk, scarred by worry. I'm Gideon. 60. My voice a low rumble. Mira's lawsuit to pay. Leta's mortgage gnawing at me. The silence of this empty house, abandoned since Corinne left, cut deeper than ever. I slouched in my chair, laptop humming its screen-casting shadows. The bank app showed our savings, $12,000, all we had. A voicemail from the bank blared, pay Leta's $500,000 debt by Friday or we foreclose. Your accounts are frozen, credit flagged for fraud. My breath caught Mira's account, revealed thousands transferred to Leta, dated weeks ago. An email from Leta to Mira read, the casino's enforcers will kill me if I don't pay. Save me, sis. A lawsuit notice shattered Gideon's Boise Thanksgiving peace. His wife's betrayal a shock. At 60, a retired mechanic, Gideon faced a family secret exposed in this emotional family story. Snow-dusted Idaho's suburbs, the scent of potato pie heavy in the air. The notice, a symbol of broken trust, hid a deeper truth. Can forgiveness heal their fractured bonds? Unlike revenge tales, this family drama story's triumph through compassion. What secrets linger in your family? Reflect with us. Boise's November sunset blazed its suburban cul-de-sac, twinkling with Thanksgiving lights, fireflies in bare trees. Snow-dusted mailboxes, streetlights casting soft glows on quiet streets. Gideon's brick house porch, sagging under frost-kissed leaves, stood dark against the festive hum. Wood smoke curled from neighbors' chimneys, mingling with Idaho potato casseroles, a world he'd lost. Inside, the air was stale silent since Corinne left. Family bonds, frayed by mistrust, pulse in her question. Can understanding her pain rebuild us? I reflect my shadow in the window, steady searching. Leta's schemes loom a storm brewing. What's Leta's next move to protect her scheme? Boise's winter deepens, snow piling against Gideon's study windows, the room a chaotic nest of Leta's debt notices and old tools. Outside, the suburbs grow quiet, neighbors retreating indoors, their potlucks fading as holiday lights dim in the frosty night. The desk lamp hums, casting a harsh glow on scattered papers, the weight of Corinne's $20,000 loan and Leta's $50,000 debts, heavy in the air. I'm Gideon 60, my voice, a raw whisper. Mira's confession of shielding. Leta softening my anger. But tonight, a darker truth, my own fault, rises like a ghost ready to break me. I slump in my chair, Corinne's drawing a crayon turkey clutched in my hand, its colors stark under the lamp. Can Gideon stop Leta's foreclosure scheme? Boise's snowy night blankets the suburbs, a single lamp in Gideon's study casting a warm glow over scattered papers and Leta's debt notices. Outside neighbors' homes flicker with holiday lights, their winter potlucks filling the air with the scent of roasted turkey and Idaho spud pies. A community hum Gideon longs to rejoin. Inside the study feels like a refuge. Corinne's presence across the desk, a spark of hope. I'm Gideon 60, my voice steady now. Corinne's $20,000 loan to save our home, a shock that's forged us closer. Leta's foreclosure threat looms, but tonight we're fighting back with truth. Corinne sits her eyes earnest, a steaming mug of tea between her hands. Dad, we need to stop Leta, she says, voice firm. I nod, leaning forward, Corinne's drawing a crayon turkey on the desk, its colors bright under the lamp. She's got a hold on your mom, I say, voice low. Those debts, $50,000, aren't Mira's doing. Will Thanksgiving unite the whole family? Vance's Boise home buzzed with a final Thanksgiving potluck, snow-dusting windows like powdered sugar on Idaho spud pies. The dining room brimmed with warmth tables piled with turkey, creamy potatoes, and pecan pies, neighbors' laughter weaving community. Gideon stood among them, Mira and Corinne at his side, their tentative smiles a beacon after Leta's storm. I'm Gideon 60, my voice steady, the scars of $500,000 debts, and Corinne's loan fading. Here with family rebuilding hope shone brighter than the candles. I clinked my glass, Mira's hand in mine. Corinne's laughter soft. To starting over, I said, warmth stirring. Neighbors cheered, Vance's grin anchoring us. To second chances, he toasted. Mira leaned closer, whispering, We'll keep fighting, Gideon. Corinne nudged her, giggling. No more lawsuits, Mom, chuckles erupted. Leta's betrayal foreclosure threats, gambling debts easing in our resolve. Corinne's jaw tightens. Leta's been manipulating her for years, guilt-tripping her over family loyalty. I frown. Mira's tearful plea years ago echoing. How deep's this hold, I ask. She sighs, stirring her tea. Mom thinks she owes Leta for past help after her husband's business tanked. I shake my head, hope rising as our bond rekindles a father and daughter united. We'll show Mira the truth, I say, my smile faint, but hopeful, a flicker I haven't felt in years. Corinne nods her resolve, mirroring mine. I've got proof texts, emails, she says, pulling out her phone. I try to sync it to my laptop, but the call mutes my fumbling fingers, hitting the wrong button. Damn it, I mutter. Corinne laughing. Dad, you're a tech disaster. Her giggle cuts the tension, a brief lightness in our fight. I chuckle, shaking my head, the screen flickering back to life. Financial strains our shadow 12,000 in savings can't fight Leta's web, but dialogue clears the fog of mistrust. I'm Gideon 60. My voice, a steady murmur, Corinne's $20,000 loan, and Leta's $50,000 debts binding us in resolve. Now Mira's here, her presence a chance to mend what's broken, if I can see past her loyalty to Leta. Mira stands by the door, her coat shedding snow eyes red-rimmed. Gideon. I need to talk, she says, voice trembling. I nod, gesturing to the couch, my heart thudding. Sit, Mira, I say, voice low. She perches, hands twisting the fire's glow, catching her face. I shielded Leta, she whispers, head bowing. She was ashamed her husband's business collapsed, left her nothing. I couldn't let her fall. My chest tightens, empathy stirring as her shame spills out. You paid her debts, Mira, with our savings. I ask, softer than I mean. She nods, tears falling. I thought I was saving her, but it cost us. I lean forward, hands clasped, seeing her pain, years of carrying Leta's weight, unacknowledged. Family bonds frayed by my stubbornness still pulse in Mira's choice to shield Leta. Can I forgive her for that love? I wonder, my heart softening. My phone buzzes, and I fumble it accidentally, liking an old post of Corinne's, a Thanksgiving photo. Her smile bright. Damn it, I mutter, startled, the screen glowing in the dark. The tech slip pulls a wry chuckle, a brief reprieve from the weight. I sink back onto the couch, Carol's fading, Leta's smirk at Vance's potluck, flashing her big plans now tied to those debts. What's she scheming next? I think resolve hardening. The drawing's turkey stares a silent witness to my regret. Dialogue could mend this. I reflect my shadow in the window, weary, searching. The carols linger, a call to something better if I can find the way. What's Leta planning next? Boise's winter chill wraps the cozy bean cafe, snow piling against its fogged windows, the hum of locals discussing high school football filling the air. Can I change this path, bring them back? I reflect my reflection in the frosted window, weary searching. The sandwich grows stale, my heart heavier still. What's hidden in Leta's debt files? Boise's dusk settles over the suburbs, a soft snow falling, as holiday lights twinkle like scattered stars. From a neighbor's open window, Thanksgiving, carols spill out their gentle notes, piercing the quiet of Gideon's living room. The room is dim, a single lamp casting shadows on worn furniture, the air heavy with the chill of an empty home. I'm Gideon, 60. My voice a weary murmur. Leta's gambling debts. $50,000 burning in my mind. Those carols meant for joy stir a guilt I can't shake, pulling me back to a moment that broke us. I sit on the sagging couch, Corinne's crayon, drawing a turkey from happier days clutched in my hand, its edges soft from years of holding. The carols swell, silent night weaving through the snow, and my chest tightens. "Why didn't you tell me?" I snatch at hitting speaker. "Corinne, pay up or the house is mine," Leta's voice hisses icy and sharp. I slam the table mugs, rattling. "You're done, Leta," I growl, cafe heads turning. Corinne's eyes well, her resilience shining through her fear. "I wanted to protect you, Dad," she says, voice breaking. I grip the drawing, it's turkey, a beacon of her love, my anger softening. Financial strains, our curse, 12,000 in savings can't touch Leta's web. And now Corinne's caught in it. She sacrificed for me. I think loneliness heavy as I face this fight alone. Boise's cafe buzzes locals debating football scores a world apart from our crisis. Dialogue with Corinne strengthens my resolve. We'll stop Leta together. I nod, squeezing her hand. "We'll fix this," I say, voice firm. Can I forgive Leta? Even now I wonder my reflection in the snowy window, weary searching. The cafe's warmth fades, Leta's threat looming like the storm outside. "You ain't alone, Gideon," he says, his grin steady. I force a nod, taking the pie, its warmth seeping into my cold hands. "Thanks, Vance," I mutter, voice thick. He steps inside, snow flaking his boots. "Rough holiday, huh? Family's worth fighting for," he says, eyes kind. I swallow hard. Leta's debts and Mira's lawsuit looming. "Fighting's all I got left," I say, setting the pie down. Vance claps my shoulder. "You'll find a way. Always do." His compassion, simple and true, steadies me, a flicker of light in my dark. I sit again, pie untouched, photos blurring through tears. Financial strains are curse, 12,000 in savings can't touch Leta's mess. Did my pride push them away, I wonder, tracing Corinne's smile in a photo. Boise's suburbs buzz outside neighbors sharing pies, a ritual I'm exiled from. I recall Leta's smirk, her debt notices locked in my desk. What's in those files, I think, resolve stirring. The silence presses, but Vance's pie sits like hope on the table. "You didn't tell me," I say, voice cracking. "I could have helped." Mira shakes her head, voice raw. "You hated Leta. I was afraid you'd leave. Afraid I'd leave." I think her words a mirror to my own loneliness. Financial strains bled us dry, 12,000 left, Corinne's loan, Leta's threats. But Mira's sacrifice cuts deeper. I move closer, our hands inches apart, the fire crackling in the silence. Neither of us speaks the weight of years shared in that quiet moment, her isolation echoing mine. Boise's snow cleanup hums outside, neighbors working together, a community we've drifted from. Compassion fills me, seeing Mira's love for Leta as strength, not betrayal. She carried this alone. I think my heart softening. I recall Leta's smirk, her foreclosure threat, but Mira's trembling hands hold my focus. "We'll face Leta together," I say, voice firm. She looks up, eyes wet but hopeful. "You don't hate me?" she asks. I shake my head, a faint smile breaking. Corinne's with me now, I think, warmth spreading. Boise's potlucks glow outside, a world we'll reclaim if we stop Leta. "We confront her together," I say, squeezing Corinne's hand. She smiles fierce. No more lies. Family bonds frayed by Leta's schemes strengthen in this moment, a promise of reunion. Can truth rebuild what's broken? I wonder, my reflection in the snowy window, steady searching. Leta's smirk at Vance's potluck lingers, her threats a storm brewing. Will Leta escalate her threats? Boise's suburbs shimmer under a fresh snow, the crunch of neighbors' shovels clearing driveways, a soft rhythm in the post-Thanksgiving quiet. Gideon's living room, warmed by a crackling fire, glows faintly, the flicker casting shadows on worn furniture, and Corinne's crayon drawing a turkey propped on the mantel. Outside, holiday lights twinkle, but inside the air holds a fragile hope. "My God," I whisper, voice shaking. "Not Mira's doing Leta's. She's the one behind the lawsuit, not my wife." The shock hits like a hammer, my breath ragged. Leta's greed, not Mira's betrayal. I think the room's spinning. A text pings on Mira's phone left on the desk. I grab it, hands unsteady. "Leta. Need more Mira. Don't let Gideon ruin us." My jaw clenches, fury rising. "Ruin us," I mutter, slamming the phone down. The screen glows with Leta's lies, each notice a testament to her spiral casino's loans, a failed business from her late husband's dreams. I lean back, chair creaking, the weight of it crushing. Our savings, 12,000, can't touch this mess. Financial strains already bled us dry, but Leta's dragged Mira into her pit. How did I miss her lies? I wonder, my pulse racing. I pace the study boots, heavy on the floorboards, loneliness pressing in. No Corinne, no Mira, just me, and this truth. I clutch Corinne's drawing in my pocket, its crayon turkey, a talisman against the ache of her absence. "Not good enough," a voice whispers in my head, the room's warmth mocking my chill. "Gideon, you eatin' or starin'?" Vance's voice cuts through his broad grin steady. He's 55, a retired teacher with a knack for seeing folks like me. I force a nod, grabbing a beer from his outstretched hand. "Rough week," I mutter, the notice's weight heavy in my thoughts. Vance leans in his flannel sleeve, brushing mine. "Family's tough, huh? Mira and Leta got you twisted up." I stiffen, but his eyes are kind, not prying. "Something like that," I say, voice low. "Leta's always got an angle." Vance chuckles, but there's a flicker of knowing in his glance. My phone buzzes, and I fumble it, accidentally sending Vance a cat emoji from Corinne's old texts. "Hell meant to call her," I grumble, cheeks burning as Vance laughs. "You're a mess, Gideon, but a good one," he says, clapping my shoulder. Leta's mask cracked neighbors' stares, icy. A phone pinged a Boise Tribune headline. "Local woman faces fraud probe over mortgage scheme." "Mira tears streaming," whispered Gideon. "We'll talk, but I need time." Corinne gripped Mira's hand, voice clear. "I borrowed 20,000 to save Dad's house." Whispers surged, neighbors shunning Leta. Her eyes darted, voice breaking. "I had to save his legacy." She stammered, her late husband's failed business a shadow. Triumph surged, tempered by pity. The DA's call earlier warned of Leta's possible jail time for forgery. Financial strain, our 12,000 savings, Corinne's loan lingered, but truth freed us. Justice, not vengeance, I thought, the room's warmth returning. Vance stepped up. "We're with you, Gideon," he said. Neighbors nodding. Their support erased my loneliness, Boise's potato pie shared again. I glanced at Mira, her eyes torn by Leta's fall. Can she let go of her sister? I wondered, my reflection in the window strong. The room spins with chatter, kids darting between legs, but I'm adrift. The lawsuit, a stone in my chest. Financial strains bled us dry. 12,000 in savings won't cover Leta's mess, whatever it is. I watch Mira, her hands quick with plates avoiding me. Did I drive her to this, shutting out Leta's pleas? Vance pulls me to a quieter corner, the fire crackling. "You and Mira, you'll sort it," he says, voice warm. "Talk it out, man. Don't let Leta's games win." His compassion steadies me, a lifeline in this sea of faces. I nod, but Leta's smirk across the room catches my eye, her words big plans echoing. What's she scheming now? I wonder, my reflection in the window, weary searching for answers. Corinne's drawing crinkles in my pocket, a reminder of what's at stake. Can stubbornness cost me my family? What's Leta hiding behind that smug grin? Vance's Boise home glowed like a beacon windows, steaming with the warmth of a Thanksgiving potluck. Sort it with Mira, man. Don't let Leta's games win. His words steadied me, but Leta's smirk lingered, her post poisoning the air. What's she scheming now? I wondered, my reflection in the window, weary Corinne's drawing crinkling in my grip. Can I save my family from this storm? What's Leta hiding behind? Her lies. Boise's autumn light fades, casting long shadows across Gideon's kitchen, where dirty dishes stack in the sink, a silent testament to a fractured home. Outside the suburban calm, Hum's kids toss a football in the cul-de-sac, their shouts echoing Boise's small-town pulse. Inside, the air crackles with tension, Mira's suitcase by the door a looming threat. I'm Gideon, 60, my voice a low growl, the lawsuit notice Mira's demand to pay Leta's mortgage burning in my hand. Those bank transfers to Leta found last night fuel my suspicion. Now Mira's here, and the truth's about to explode. Mira storms in her coat, shedding snow eyes blazing. You saw the notice, Gideon. I'm Gideon, 60. My voice weathered, clutching her faded crayon turkey now 32 and distant. Tonight, that silence shattered. My boots crunched frost to the mailbox, breath fogging. Bill's junk, then a stiff envelope official. My wrench-scarred fingers trembled, tearing it open under the porch light. A lawsuit notice, Mira, my wife of 35 years, demanded I pay Leta's $500,000 mortgage or lose our home in 30 days, our credit ruined. My chest tightened, paper crumpling. Mira, what the hell? I growled hoarse. I paced the dim living room. Corinne's drawing glowing above the fireplace, a relic of happier Thanksgivings. Financial abuse. I'd read Tears Families Apart, now it was us. Years ago, this yard rang with Corinne's giggles, her hands sticky with pumpkin guts as we carved jack-o'-lanterns. Daddy make it smile big, she'd squeal. I'd grin knife-steady Mira, humming in the kitchen our world whole. That memory cut now sharp. The scent of Idaho potato casseroles and roasted turkey wafted through the crisp November air, mingling with wood smoke under a starry sky. Inside, tables groaned under Pie's neighbors laughing over Boise State scores, but Gideon stood at the edge, a shadow in the crowd, the lawsuit notice searing his thoughts. I'm Gideon, 60, my voice heavy, Mira's betrayal, a knife in my chest. Leta leaned against the fireplace, her smirk venomous. Gideon, you'll help family, right? She called out, loud enough for heads to turn. Her phone glowed as she tapped, and a notification pinged on a neighbor's device, her post on Boise's community page. Gideon hoards money while his sister-in-law begs. Whispers, rippled eyes narrowing at me. Mira slicing turkey snapped. He's always been selfish, Leta. Don't bother. Her words burned the room's warmth, turning cold as Leta's lie spread. My gut twisted Mira's lawsuit, Leta's schemes now, this public shaming. We're mending, I thought, joy tempering our cracks. The DA's office had called investigating Leta's forged signatures with jail time possible. A Boise Tribune article spread the news, local fraud case, shocks suburbs. Leta's absence loomed, her isolation a shadow. She's alone now, Corinne said, compassion in her voice. I nodded, family bonds stronger for the trials. Financial strain lingered, 12,000 savings, Corinne's $20,000 loan, but we'd face it with counseling and legal help. Boise's potlucks bound us to this community, a world reclaimed. I journaled on my phone. Stand against financial abuse. It's worth the fight. The post went viral, sparking talks on family manipulation, neighbors' phones pinging. Dad, you're famous, Corinne teased my tech blunder, sparking laughter. We gathered at the table plates, piled high forks clinking. I raised my glass eyes on Mira and Corinne. Here's to us, I said, voice thick, vowing to never lose this. Inside the scent of fresh coffee and Idaho spud muffins swirls tables cluttered with mugs and laptops. Gideon sits across from Corinne, her coat dusted with snow, her eyes heavy with secrets. I'm Gideon, 60, my voice a low rumble. Leta's $50,000 gambling debts a weight I can't shake. Corinne's tension at Leta's name hints at more, and today in this crowded cafe, the truth's about to hit like a storm. Corinne fidgets with her mug, her breath uneven. Dad, I need to tell you something, she says, voice barely above the cafe's chatter. I lean in, gripping Corinne's drawing, a crayon turkey tucked in my pocket, its edges worn. What is it, kid? I ask. Heart thudding. She looks down, then meets my eyes. I borrowed $20,000 to save our house, Corinne whispered, eyes fierce. And I recorded Leta admitting she forged your signature. Her phone buzzed Leta's text. Pay up or you'll regret it. Gideon's heart raced. She's dangerous, Corinne. I clutched Corinne's crayon turkey in my pocket, its faded lines grounding me against her absence. Not good enough, a voice hissed in my head. Gideon, you eatin' or starin'? Vance's voice cut through his grin steady. He's 55, a retired teacher who sees through facades. I grabbed his offered beer, muttering rough week. Vance leaned closer, flannel brushing my arm. Leta's post got folks talking. She's playing dirty, huh? His kind eyes held no judgment, but the weight of the crowd's stares pressed harder. My phone buzzed, a cat emoji from Corinne's old texts sent by mistake. Hell meant to call her, I grumbled. Vance chuckling. You're a mess, Gideon, but a good one. The room spun with chatter, kids weaving through legs. But I was adrift. The lawsuit, a stone in my chest. Our $12,000 in savings couldn't fight Leta's mess, now amplified by her lies online. Did I drive Mira to this, shutting out Leta's pleas? Vance pulled me to a quiet corner, fire crackling. I roared Mira. What have you done, slamming the laptop shut, heart pounding? Was this her choice or Leta's trap? I grabbed my phone, dialing Corinne. Her voice, my anchor. Voicemail. Corinne. It's Dad. Call me, I rasped, throat tight. Her social media, a year-old post of her smiling with strangers, deepened my loneliness. The bank's fraud alert glared, each transfer a betrayal. I paced boots heavy on creaking floorboards, the house hollow as my chest. Boise's suburbs readied for Thanksgiving pies, cooling on porches, a world I'd lost. Honesty could unravel this, but trust was shattered by Leta's schemes. Her smirk at Vance's potluck echoed her big plans, now a criminal web. Was Mira shielding her, or worse? I sank into my chair, the bank app's numbers blurring. Can money destroy us, or is there a way back? My reflection in the dark window stared, weary, Corinne's drawing on the desk, mocking my hope. Boise's suburbs are still neighbors' warmth, a world I'm exiled from. I recall Mira's tears last night, her shame for Leta, and see my role in her pain. Can admitting my faults mend us? I wonder my reflection in the frosted window, weary searching. I sink back into the chair, the drawing's turkey, staring a symbol of family I nearly broke. My hands rub my temples. Leta's smirk at Vance's potluck, flashing her threats, still loom. Family bonds frayed by my pride, pulse in Mira's loyalty, Corinne's love. Dialogue could have stopped this. I realize, resolve hardening. The study's clutter holds proof of Leta's deceit, but my own guilt weighs heavier. Will Mira forgive me for that night? I reflect the silence deafening my shadow, a solitary figure. The snow taps the window, a reminder of time-slipping truths waiting to be faced. Divorce. Mira. That's your answer, I growl, heart pounding. She grabs her suitcase, eyes wet. Pay or I'm filing. The door slams, snow swirling in her wake. I stand frozen, the kitchen silent, save for the clock's tick. Financial strains choked us. Mira's transfers to Leta could wipe out our $12,000 in savings. Did I push her to this, refusing Leta's pleas? I think sinking into a chair. The loneliness of this empty house presses in heavier now. Outside kids' football game fades. Boise's suburbs settling into evening. Family bonds strained by mistrust still pulse beneath my anger. Mira's tears haunt me. I eye her laptop on the counter, emails unopened. Dialogue could have stopped this. I realize pride blocking my apology. What's she hiding in those emails? I wonder my reflection in the dark window, weary searching. Inside tables groan under pies and casseroles, neighbors laughing over Boise State football scores, their voices a hum of community Gideon no longer feels part of. I'm Gideon 60. My voice heavy as I stand at the edge of this crowd, the lawsuit notice burning a hole in my mind. Mira's betrayal stings, but here among these strangers, I'm just a shadow. I shift on the hardwood floor, my boots scuffed, feeling like a ghost in Vance's packed living room. Leta leaned against the fireplace, her smirk slicing through the potluck's warmth. Gideon, you'll help family, won't you? She said loudly, eyes glinting as neighbors turned. Mira, serving turkey, snapped. He's always been selfish, Leta. Don't waste your breath. Her words stung the room's chatter, faltering as Leta's lie spread. Gideon hoarded money while she begged. Got big plans, she says, winking at a neighbor. My gut twists. Mira's lawsuit, Leta's schemes, they're linked, I know it. Boise's carols fade outside the suburbs, wrapped in snow, neighbors preparing for Thanksgiving feasts. I'm shut out from. Honesty could expose Leta, but will Mira believe me over her sister? I recall Leta's smirk at Vance's potluck, her big plans now clear. She's playing us all, I think, gripping the desk. The laptop's glow holds answers, but the cost of truth looms. Can I confront Mira without breaking her? I reflect my shadow in the window, weary searching. The silence in this house is deafening. Leta's lies, louder still. Will Mira believe Gideon about Leta's lies? Thanksgiving morning dawns over Boise, a frosty veil cloaking the suburbs in quiet splendor. Snow dusts the lawns, neighbors' homes, aglow with feast preparations. The scent of baking pies drifting through the crisp air. Gideon's dining room, cold and dim, holds a lone turkey sandwich, its edges curling on a chipped plate. Mira's face, crumpling years ago, haunts me. I think the memory sharp. 5 years back in this kitchen, Mira begged me to help Leta, her voice trembling. She's family, Gideon. She's lost everything. Her husband's business failed, I'd scoffed. Arms crossed. Leta's a leech, Mira. No more loans. My words cut her eyes, welling. You don't care, she whispered, turning away, her shoulders shaking. That fight drove a wedge, one I see now in her lawsuit, her transfers to Leta. My fingers trace the drawing, empathy stirring as I see Mira's loyalty, not betrayal, in those tears. She carried Leta's shame, her love for her sister, blinding her to the cost. I dismissed her pain. I realize guilt gnawing. Financial strain's our curse. $12,000 in savings can't fix Leta's mess. But Mira tried anyway. I stand pacing, boots scuffing the rug. Outside Boise's carol sing-along grows, neighbors gathered in mittens, a community I'm cut off from. I sank into my chair, the notice glaring. Neighbors' laughter drifted, their potlucks distant, sharpening my solitude. I dialed Mira voicemail. Mira, talk to me. I pleaded, voice cracking. I tried Vance. Hear anything about Leta's scheme's voicemail? My jaw clenched. Our 12,000 savings couldn't fight this. Did our vows mean nothing? Leta's smirk at last year's potluck flashed. Did I push Mira to this? The clock ticked, each tick a weight. Can forgiveness mend us? My reflection in the dark window searched the turkey, grinning, mocking my pain. Why is Mira suing her own husband? Vance's house in Boise glows like a beacon, its windows steaming with the warmth of a Thanksgiving potluck. The scent of Idaho potato casseroles and roasted turkey wafts through the suburban air, mingling with wood smoke under a starry November sky.